Every global brand has an origin story. Apple had a garage, Amazon had a scrappy apartment, but Nike began with a runner who wasn't fast enough to make it, and an idea everyone laughed at. This is the story of Phil Knight. His memoir, Shoe Dog, isn't just a business book. It's a roller coaster of risk, betrayal, obsession, and survival. And today, we are going to walk through the wild journey that turned a crazy idea into one of the most powerful brands in history. In 1962, Phil Knight was finishing his MBA at Stanford. He wrote a paper about a crazy idea: importing running shoes from Japan, where labor was cheaper, and competing with German giants like Adidas and Puma. His professor shrugged it off, saying it's too risky and not practical. But Knight could not shake the idea off his mind. It's a reminder sometimes the most revolutionary companies begin as ideas no one takes seriously. Knight wasn't a world class runner. He competed in college but never made it to the big stage. For a while it stung, but he kept running on the streets of Portland long after his competitive days were over. Those runs became thinking sessions. As his feet hit the pavement, his mind raced with visions of shoes, athletes, and what his company could become. He might not have been the fastest on the track, but he stayed close to the sport by building something for the athletes who were. Phil needed a partner. He flew to Japan and struck a deal with Onitsuka Tiger, a small Japanese shoemaker. He called his new company Blue Ribbon Sports, and with his old coach Bill Bowerman, he began importing Tiger shoes into the US. Bowerman was obsessed with innovation, shaving ounces of shoes, tinkering with designs. He wasn't just a co-founder, he was an inventor. Together, they hustled like underdogs, selling shoes out of the trunk of Knight's car at track meets. Their competition, Adidas and Puma, brands with money, fame, and dominance. Blue Ribbon Sports were just two men and a dream. Then came Betrayal. Onitsuka decided to cut Knight out and hand US distribution to someone else. It could have been the end for Blue Ribbon Sports, but instead, Knight fought back. He flew back to Japan, confronted Onitsuka, and bought time. At the same time, he secretly prepared a backup plan, his own brand. His early employee, Jeff Johnson, dreamed up the name Nike after the Greek goddess of victory. A young graphic design student created the swoosh for just $35. Out of betrayal came independence. Nike was born. The company grew fast, but money was always short. Every dollar of profit went straight back into shoes. Phil mortgaged his house. He begged banks for loans. Many said no. They thought shoes weren't a real business. At times, Nike was inches from collapse. But Knight believed, and he kept doubling down, even when it looked insane. Growth, after all, often looked like chaos. Nike wasn't built by polished executives. It was built by misfits, eccentric, stubborn, sports-obsessed rebels. Knight affectionately called them his butt faces. They argued, they joked, they worked like hell. Out of that messy culture came bold ideas, like Bowerman's famous Waffle sole, born from pouring rubber into his wife's waffle iron. Can you believe it? This wasn't corporate. It was raw, scrappy, and alive. In the years ahead, Nike kept taking swings, signing athletes, experimenting with marketing. The biggest moment? Michael Jordan. Air Jordans turned Nike into a cultural force, blending sports with lifestyle. But even before that, the foundation was laid. Take risks, bet on athletes, and never stop pushing. Phil Knight ends Shoe Dog with a simple truth. It was never just about shoes. It was about the journey, the fight, the sleepless nights, the risks that almost broke him. He wrote in his memoir, "Life is growth. You grow or you die." Nike's story isn't a straight line of success. It's failure, betrayal, risk obsession, and the refusal to quit. So the next time you see the swoosh, don't just think of a brand. Think of a runner who wasn't fast enough but ran anyway. That's the untold story of Phil Knight and Shoe Dog. I hope you liked what you heard, and if you do so, please follow my channel and give a thumbs up. Thank you. Take care now. Bye.